Hey everyone, it's me, Donna. Okay, I wanted to add a little more information about my perfume on demand website idea. I wanted to kind of, because I don't think I really clarified about the, when it comes to picking out your scents or whatever. Like I mentioned that it would be a good idea to only allow people to work with 10 cents. I don't mean that in the sense that there's only going to be 10 cents to choose from on the website and that's it. I mean, that would be kind of dull and boring if everybody just played around with the same 10 cents or whatever. I mean, that doesn't make any sense, okay? So that's why I wanted to say that in my vision for the website, it would be a good idea for them to offer hundreds, okay, of different types of scents. Everything from banana to the mints to watermelon to your vanillas to, you name it. Your different resins, frankincense, all that type of stuff. Like, it would have all those to choose from, but you can only pick out 10 of all those to actually work with, okay? And the reasoning for that is, I mean, my goodness, how much stuff do you really want to put in your perfume? And I honestly think whatever it is that you're going after, whether it be sweet smells or earthy smells or, flowery smells or whatever it is, surely to goodness, you can do it with 10 different scents. Like, you can play around, surely, with 10 different varieties from all the choices out there and come up with pretty doggone near what you have in mind as for, a perfume. Okay, so that's why I say I think 10 should be the limit as far as that goes. Okay. All right. Now, as far as recipes or formulas that I come up with in my mind, especially doing like the 20% to 80% ratio, is what I did was I typed this up right here. I put like a 4 ounce, 2 ounce, 1 ounce, 0.5 ounce, and 0.25 ounce. Okay. And in my mind, from what I understand, no, I'm dealing roughly. This is not straight up, right on the dot. But this is just roughly what I'm gathering from what I've researched or whatever. Okay. I'm going to go with 50 drops equaling to like 1 ounce. Okay, which would equal about 30 millimeters, roughly, milliliters. Okay, 30 milliliters. Okay, even though, it's a little bit less than that, but we're just going to go with 30 milliliters, okay? All right, so that would equal to roughly about 1.5 drops per milliliter, okay? So, I mean, that's just what I got in my head. It depending on your dropper or whatever, it could be more, could be less, but we're just going to go with that, okay? Just for mathematical purposes, we can go with that, okay? All right, but even though you don't really need to do the whole drop deal until you get down to like your sample type thing, in which I'll talk about that in a minute, okay? But for this, you're just going to deal starting out with milliliters, okay? So, what I have figured out for a 4 ounce container of liquid, if you're going to do the 20-80 ratio, under these circumstances, I have figured out that it's going to be like 24 milliliters of actual scent. Okay, In other words, you're going to have the rest of it, you know, the 80% of it being, you know, your carrier. But then 20% of it is going to be 24 milliliters. So what you do is, if you've got 10 items to choose from, then you've got to figure out what items do you want to make the most impact, okay? And then what do you kind of want to be like your middle ground, and then what do you want to be like your least impact, but yet it will make an appearance, okay? So for this particular thing, I called it Petal Metal, okay? All right. I want the vanilla to make the most impact with this fragrance, okay? I just think that would, you know, really, you know, hit it off. So I gave the most milliliters to the vanilla, okay? Then my middle areas, I wanted to go with cedarwood, cherry, and cinnamon, okay, to kind of get those, you know, smells in there to make their impact, okay? Then also, kind of underneath that, you know, naturally I want the rose, and then the spearmint and everything, because I'm kind of thinking of, even though, you know, it's kind of like dealing with a flower, but also dealing with putting the petal to the metal or whatever, or metal to the petal, however you want to say it, that type of deal. So naturally, I want a little bit of spearmint in there, and I want some cinnamon in there. In my mind, to kind of associate it with maybe a metallic type thing, you know, and kind of give it that edge, okay? So I definitely want to have those in there, okay? All right, and the last thing would be the cloves, okay? And the thing with cloves is that is a strong smell. Anyone who's ever smelled of cloves know it's very strong and it's powerful, okay? So I want it to make an appearance, but I definitely don't want it to overwhelm the fragrance, you know, in any way. I just want it to just, you know, pop in your nose a little bit and then kind of, you know, maybe go away after a little bit, you know, and blend in with the other smells. So I gave it the least amount, okay? So that's how, you know, I came up with this, all right? So then all you do is you just break it on, you just half that up. You know, you go from 2 to 1. And then when you know, like when you go down to the 2 ounce, okay, then when you go to the 1 ounce, you just break it on down some more. Same thing with the 0.5 and the 0.25. And what I've done for some of it is, say like when you're breaking it down from 0.75, I went ahead and gave a little bit extra when I did the 0.38 down from that instead of like a 0.37, because then that would just, if you double that, that would just be a 0.74, whatever. So I decided just to go with a 0.38. And that would give that just a little bit extra. And maybe the computers can calculate it that way. I don't know. I mean, you know, because naturally in the real world, I'm not going to be dealing with these myself. This is just kind of to give me an idea that maybe I might want to start going down to maybe half drops. Like instead of, like, you know, in some instances I can just go ahead and do 1 drop, and then with others you might want to kind of go down to like a half drop if you possibly can. If not, you can just do the whole 1 drop for everything, and that way you just kind of, you know, just know from there, whatever, because it's not going to matter too much at home. But if you're on the website and you're creating something for the public and you want them to buy your perfume, then these types of things, you know, since it's all computerized and they can do the measurements and calculations and everything, it might be a good idea for them, you know, just to go with whatever the computer comes up with, so that you make sure that every scent is done the way that you want it done, to where your customer will like it and they will see what you're kind of going for. You know what I mean? So, but this is just to give you an idea, as to how I'm doing it when I think of my, my recipes or formulas for my perfumes and everything. I hope this helps anyone who's at home, doing this or whatever. And if this does catch on, and people are actually able to do this, maybe this will kind of help you out or whatever, So, I believe that's all I wanted to say about that. I thought there was something else, but I can't think of it right now at this very moment. But anyway, I'm going to get off of here, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!